Recently, during the G20 meetings in New Delhi, during one of the discussions, Sergei Lavrov, Russia's foreign minister, dropped a hint. Surprisingly, this hint was unnoticed by a large section of media. It kind of stuck my mind, and I want to talk about this. So he was asked a question.
Sino-Russia relations and its impact on the India-Russia relations, because India is now facing China's assertive challenges in its Himalayan border and the Indian Ocean region. So from last year, there's a dramatic change in the Russia-China relations. There's many joint exercises around Japan, around India. So how does Russia calculate the strategic cost and benefit of deepening its relationship with China, especially its impact on Russia-India relations? Thank you.
Well, we never make friends against somebody. We have excellent relations with China and excellent relations with India. The relations with India are characterized in the official documents signed by the two leaders as especially privileged strategic partnership. I don't know whether any other country has the same status on paper officially with our Indian friends, but this is what we believe is reflecting the reality.
Sergei Lavrov's reply was that India has a privileged strategic partnership with Russia. And he said that, does India have any other relationship which is so close? A lot of audiences and people who were watching this video immediately noted that, oh, okay, that means that Russia is treating India as a close friend. Well, I saw something else over there. If you closely observe what he said that India has a privileged strategic partnership with Russia. And does India have any other partnership which is that close? So he didn't say that India is the closest partner for Russia. He said that Russia is the closest partner for India. The meaning of both the sentences are different. They are not the same. So he essentially said that India has only Russia as its most closest partner. But he didn't say that India is the closest partner of Russia. And this statement went unnoticed by a lot of analysts. So that means what he was saying is that out of all the people, of all the countries in the world, Russia would be the best partner for India, and India has to acknowledge that. That opens the possibility there would be another country which is more strategic and important for Russia right now than India. And we all know what that country is. Of course, it's China. So essentially, Sergei Lavrov gave a peek into the minds of the Russians. Don't mistake me, I'm not saying that Russians have an intention to harm India or to jeopardize their relationship with India. After all, this is a relationship between Soviet Union and India, goes back to more than 60 to 70 years. So it's not like Vladimir Putin has anything against India, but the practical fact is that China is a supplier for critical equipment for Russia right now in its active conflict with Europe and US. It's a battle for existence for Russia, and during these times it will obviously value a partner which supplies critical stuff to Russia. If I give you an example, Russia's import from China constitute around 23 to 25%, whereas from India it is less than 2%. Contrary to that, in January 2023, Russia contributed to almost 25% of India's oil imports. So there is a symmetric unbalance here. India is dependent on Russia's cheap oil and defense equipment, whereas Russia imports less than 2% of its overall imports from India. So it essentially doesn't require India as much as India requires it for its oil and defense equipment. Does that mean that Russia is not intending to be friends with India in future? No, that's not, because an interesting development happened this week. Talks between New Delhi and Moscow reignited about India building a satellite city in Vladivostok. Yes, it is part of India's Far East policy, which Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasized in 2001 when he gave a credit line of $1 billion to various entities in Far East of Russia. Vladivostok is the same territory which is under dispute between China and Russia. And with Russia offering India the opportunity to build infrastructure in Vladivostok, it is also signaling that Russia is not keeping all its eggs in one basket. So here, no country seems to be keeping its eggs in one basket. India is also partnering with United States. At the same time, it's also partnered with Russia. Russia is also partnering with India in Far East. At the same time, it is a strategic partner to China. But there is always a threat of one side ditching another side and push comes to shove. But Russia's initiative in Far East is much more than mere tokenism for India. Russia is wanting to build a trans-Arctic shipping line along with India. Vladivostok has been a disputed territory between Russia and China. Thousands of kilometers of Russia are claimed by China as of today. So it's not like everything is fine between Russia and China. But for the sake of convenience, they have come together over the last few months, especially since the Ukraine conflict started. So while Sergei Lavrov gave a hint that Russia sees China as a more important partner as of now, but at the same time, Russia is not totally keeping all its eggs in one basket, that is China. So Russia is also cooperating with India in Far East, especially for its trans-Arctic shipping line, on which Russia is betting on. This shipping line will be an alternative route for trade from India to Europe, from Southeast Asia to Europe. And Russia is betting big on this. Russia treats this area as its own strategic backyard, without any interference from any NATO powers or any other European country. Only time will tell whether Russia will really help India when and if India and China have a conflict. But one thing is for sure, no country is keeping its eggs in one basket. This is Degrees signing off from this video. See you in the next video. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, and stay tuned.